All right, this is how you check for audio. I'm going to go over the 6 best safe crafts for Amonkhet. Best cards you can draft, obviously. Let's start off number 1 in black. It's Thoughtseize is simply better than the other option in almost every scope of it. You can use it compared against Duress. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. All right, that non-creature part is actually a pretty big thing if you're trying to peel some creatures off of people. Agonizing Remorse. You know, it does a lot of stuff. You only lose 1 life, and you can exile. That's a lot of benefit to a card right there. However, the biggest problem is it costs 2 mana. If it didn't cost 2 mana, obviously it'd be clearly better than Thoughtseize. I still don't think Agonizing Remorse is going to be bad in this format. Thoughtseize will have an effect on this format. It will become a staple without a doubt. Moving on to the next safe craft. Safe craft number 2. I'm going to go to blue. This was kind of a hard one because none of these cards are really, really good. I'm going to give it to Champion of Wits. I give it to Champion of Wits because it gives you a lot of action, gives you a lot of proactivity. Magic does like to reward proactivity, and it gives you something a little bit later to do down into the game. Things that it could have been Pact of Negation. It could have been, that was a high consideration. However, Pact of Negation is more of a sideboard card or a main. Pact of Negation is used when you're trying to execute a combo and somebody's trying to stop you from executing that combo. A lot of decks will sideboard in a Pact of Negation to counter other people's counters. And again, there wasn't a whole lot. In the uncommon section, in common and uncommon section, there's Hieroglyphic Illumination. That seems to be quite a good option for a faster type of tempo deck. However, there's another instant 4-drop that draws you 2 cards and jumpstarts. There's plenty of better card draw option, or there's plenty of different card draw option. However, this is an extra option. And also Supreme Will. I'm not going to say it's one of the better cards because it does cost 3 mana. This is a really rough format to want to put a counter spell into 3 mana. Let's get into green. It's got to be Collected Company. There was no other comparison. It was Collected Company. It's such a rounded card. It gets creatures from the cost of 1 to 3 from your deck to the battlefield. What deck doesn't want to do what their deck's already doing at a reduced cost? If you pull 2 2-drops, you're already doing its job. This is quite the card. You can get Scavenging Ooze. You can get Paradise Druids. If you can get some of the adventure cards. You can get Bone Crusher Giant. If you're using him for removal in the deck, you can just get a 4/3 fat body right there. That's a pretty good body to have on the battlefield. If you want to ask me directly, just hop on my stream at Coons Games. I'm going to post it right about here. Let's go to red. Red's winner is Soulscarred Mage. This is probably the safest one. If you're into red, you're probably going to be aggroing at some point. I am not the best, and I will never claim to be the best aggro mage. However, this is such a good card when it comes to aggro-style matchups. You can utilize Wizard's Lightning with it, Lightning Strikes, Shocks. You just put in all the burn, all the cycle, or sorry, not the actual cycle, but a lot of cycle effects. A lot of cantrip effects. Throw a lot of cantrip effects onto this guy, and he's doing a lot of work. I have 2 whites in for safe rares, and they're in it for different reasons. So number 1, Rest in Peace. If you're going to craft Rest in Peace, I say only start with 2 crafts, maybe 1 to 2 crafts at the beginning. And if you're the type of player who really likes white decks, probably craft more, because 3 of these in the sideboard will just shut down a lot of decks. A lot of decks are trying to do a lot of funky stuff, and it involves the graveyard. People are getting really relaxed with their graveyard lately. There's an argument to be had for this deck, for this card to be as a 1 of and 2 of in some main decks. There's an argument there. So when it comes to white cards, Rest in Peace is the best of 3 card in a sideboard you could possibly pull out at any point in time. I easily give it to Rest in Peace as the best answer to the biggest problem, decks. So that's why I'm saying it's a great spend if you want to get spend 1 or 2 wild cards on these. The second winner in the white category goes to Wrath of God. I don't think, obviously the ability to destroy all creatures on the battlefield is great. Regenerate is not even in this format. That's old text. That's just there for flavor, so don't worry. You can compare it to Storm's Wrath. It's, the Storm's Wrath was the deal 4 to each creature or player. That, red seems to have that going on for them. They kill off planeswalkers and they kill off creatures at a damage level instead. So that seems to be a fine direction. Cards like Wrath of God are a 4 mana fix a lot of problems in the format. And I think Wizards is going into the direction of fixing a lot of cards in the format. So white got quite a bit of a buff. So let's go into some considerations. Hornet Queen. You have Hornet Queen on the battlefield to fix a whole bunch of problems that people are causing you. You mainly pull it out in mid-range matchups, and then you all of a sudden have a full team of 1/1 and 1/2/2 Death Touchers, and you win every single trade from then on out. Anger of the Gods and Sweltering Sun are a bit of a combo on this one. Pick your preference. Right now, Graveyard seems to be a big thing, so Dreadwander has a lot of versatility to it. It's a zombie. It has recursion. It costs 1, and it has 2 power. That is a really good thing. Aven Mind Sensor is a really good response card. If you're feeling frisky in a historic format, you think people are looking through their libraries a little bit too much, bam, hit them with an Aven Mind Sensor. It's a good sideboard card against a bunch of strategies. Gideon of the Trials. I'm testing this out. I hear it was good in its standard format of the time, but I don't know if it's going to be good in historic. Combat Celebrant, Hazaret the Fervent, and Earth Shaker Kenra. Aggro cards, I don't know if they'll be relevant going forward. However, we will see. Resilient Kenra, I hear it was good if there's a trample format. If there's a good trample deck that's actually out there, this really becomes a good card. And I'm going to add a little extra one on here. The best crafts for multicolor, it's a tie between 2 of them. One of them is Sphinx's Revelation. It draws cards and gains life. I have a lot of experience playing with this, and it could be good in this format. Probably don't go crazy like I did in Craft 3. Probably just craft 1 and see where it goes from there. And another one is Scarab God. It's a 5 mana 5/5 that deals damage, scries cards, has recursion, deals with a little bit of graveyard. Hey, it does a little bit of a lot of stuff, but is the format going to be slow enough for Scarab God to be good? I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes from there. And that's it. That's all I got. Those are the top. Those are the 5, or I guess you can say 6, safe crafts from Amonkhet, 1 from each color, and a whole bunch of recommendations. If you like what I do, subscribe on this channel or go to my other channel where I talk about movies and stuff. Have a good day.